The desperate call. The listening post's Sentinel-7 hung suspended in the void, its massive antenna raised pointed toward the stars. Inside, Lieutenant Sarah Chen nursed her coffee while monitoring the endless streams of cosmic data. After 3 months of routine signals and background radiation, she expected another quiet shift. Then her console erupted with alerts. "What the hell?" Sarah muttered, setting down her mug. The signal pattern was unlike anything in her database. Not a pulsar, not a quasar, definitely not human-made. She ran it through every filter and analysis program. The pattern emerged clearly, a mathematical sequence, followed by what appeared to be coordinates, then repeating. Sarah's hands trembled as she reached for the emergency comm. "Command, this is Sentinel-7. I have a code black. Repeat, code black. We have a non-human artificial signal." Within hours, the cramped conference room at Earth Defense Command filled with the highest-ranking officers in the solar system. Admiral Marcus Stone, a weathered veteran with steel-gray eyes, studied the data while his staff argued around him. "It's obviously a trap," Colonel Jung insisted. "No advanced civilization would broadcast their location so openly." "Unless they're desperate," countered Dr. Emily Rodriguez, the chief xenobiologist. "The mathematical structure suggests they want to be understood. This is a cry for help." Admiral Stone remained silent, remembering his grandfather's stories about World War I. Sometimes, his grandfather had said, "You answer the call not because it's safe, but because it's right." "What are our options?" Stone finally asked. General Patricia Hayes pulled up a holographic display. "We have 3 battle-ready fleets. The question is whether we risk any of them on an unknown." The debate raged for hours. Some argued for caution, others for isolation. But Stone had already made his decision. Humanity had spent centuries reaching for the stars. Now the stars were reaching back. "We go," Stone declared. "Not with a full battle fleet, but with a balanced force. If it's genuine, we help. If it's a trap, we'll be ready." The assembly of the rescue fleet took only 2 weeks, a testament to human efficiency when motivated. The flagship Resolute led the formation, accompanied by the battlecruiser Defiant, 2 destroyers, a science vessel, and a hospital ship. Captain James Morrison, chosen to lead the mission, stood on the Resolute's bridge watching the final preparations. "All ships report ready, Captain," announced Commander Lisa Park, his second in command. Morrison nodded. At 45, he'd seen combat in the asteroid belt conflicts and led exploration missions beyond Neptune. But this was different. This was first contact. "Open a channel to all ships," Morrison ordered. "Channel open, sir." "This is Captain Morrison. In a few minutes, we'll make history. We don't know what we'll find out there, but we go as representatives of humanity. We go to answer a call for help. That's what humans do. That's what makes us who we are. All ships, prepare for jump." The fleet aligned with the calculated jump coordinates. The fusion drives roared to life, bending space around them. In a flash of brilliant light, humanity's first interstellar rescue mission vanished into the void. The journey through folded space lasted 3 days. When the fleet emerged, they found themselves in an unfamiliar star system. The source of the signal beckoned from the 4th planet. "Sensors picking up debris fields," reported Lieutenant Torres. "Looks like the remains of a space battle." "Any active ships?" Morrison asked. "One, sir. Badly damaged, minimal power signatures. It's the signal source." As they approached, the alien vessel came into view. It was beautiful in its strangeness. Crystalline structures merged with organic curves, like a fusion of technology and art. Gaping wounds marred its hull where weapons had torn through. "Life signs?" Morrison inquired. "Faint but present. Their atmospheric requirements are close to Earth normal. We can dock." Morrison assembled a contact team. Himself, Dr. Rodriguez, Commander Park, and a squad of Marines. As their shuttle approached the alien vessel, Morrison felt the weight of the moment. Everything humanity knew was about to change. The airlock hissed open, revealing corridors that seemed grown rather than built. Bioluminescent panels provided soft light, and the air smelled faintly of ozone and something floral. They found the survivors in what appeared to be a command center. The aliens were unlike anything from Earth's wildest fiction. Tall and willowy, with skin that shifted between purple and blue, 4 arms ending in delicate fingers, and large multifaceted eyes that seemed to see in all directions at once. One alien stepped forward, clearly injured but maintaining dignity. It spoke, and though the words were incomprehensible, a device on its chest translated. "Humans from Earth, you heard, you came." The voice was musical, tinged with desperation and hope. Morrison removed his helmet, showing trust. "I'm Captain James Morrison. We received your distress call. We're here to help." The alien's skin shifted to a lighter shade, perhaps relief or joy. "I am Synthesis Commander Veltar of the Ashcore Collective. We had heard of your species, the ones from the Deathworld. We dared hope you would answer." "Deathworld?" Dr. Rodriguez asked. "Your Earth, classified by Galactic Council as Category 5 Hazard World. High gravity, tectonic instability, extreme weather variations, abundant predators. Few species could survive your cradle. Fewer still would thrive." Morrison exchanged glances with his team. They'd never thought of Earth as particularly dangerous. "What happened here?" Morrison asked. Veltar's skin darkened to deep purple, perhaps sorrow or fear. "The Void Reapers came. They consume. They destroy. They believe only the strongest deserve to exist. We are scientists, artists, builders. We could not match their violence." "Where are they now?" Commander Park asked. "Coming," Veltar replied simply. "They always return to finish their work. We sent the signal knowing they would detect it. We hoped someone would arrive first. Someone who could fight." Morrison activated his comm. "Resolute, this is Morrison. Prepare for possible hostile contact. Begin emergency evacuation of survivors." "Captain," Veltar interrupted, "there is something you must understand. The Void Reapers fear species from Deathworlds. Your reputation, it precedes you. But they will test you. They always test." As if summoned by the words, alarms blared across the human fleet. Multiple contacts dropped out of hyperspace, angular ships like obsidian daggers, bristling with weapons. Morrison ran for the shuttle. "All personnel, emergency departure. Park, get us back to the Resolute." The human ships moved into battle formation as the Ashcore survivors were hastily evacuated. Morrison reached the bridge just as the first Void Reaper transmission arrived. The creature on the screen was nightmarish. Multiple eyes, chitinous armor, mandibles clicking around too many teeth. When it spoke, the voice was like grinding stone. "Humans, Deathworlders, you interfere with natural selection. Withdraw or be consumed." Morrison stood straight, channeling every ounce of human defiance. "This is Captain Morrison of the Earth ship Resolute. These people are under our protection. You will withdraw or face the consequences." The Void Reaper's mandibles spread in what might have been amusement. "Deathworlders. So proud, so foolish. You evolved on one dangerous world. We have conquered hundreds. Let us see if your reputation matches reality." The screen went dark. Seconds later, space erupted in violence as the Void Reapers opened fire. "All ships, evasive maneuvers," Morrison barked. "Return fire. Protect the Ashcore vessel." The battle was joined. Humanity's first interstellar conflict had begun, not for conquest or resources, but to protect those who had called for help. As plasma fire and missiles crisscrossed the void, Morrison realized this was just the beginning. The galaxy was about to learn what humans were truly capable of when someone needed their help. The alliance forged. The battle raged across the star system. Void Reaper ships, sleek and predatory, danced through space with terrifying grace. Their weapons carved through the vacuum, seeking human vessels with murderous precision. Shields at 60%. Lieutenant Torres shouted over the din of alarms. Captain Morrison gripped his command chair as the Resolute shuddered under another barrage. Return fire, pattern Alpha 7. Don't let them box us in. The human ships fought with characteristic adaptability. Where the Void Reapers moved with predetermined patterns, the humans improvised, adjusted, survived. The destroyer Thunder Bay executed a maneuver that should have been impossible for its mass, sliding between two enemy ships and raking them with railgun fire. On the bridge of the hospital ship Mercy, Veltar watched the battle with his fellow Ashcore survivors. Their skin patterns shifted rapidly, amazement mixing with fear. Impossible, whispered Ashcore scientist Jackson. They fight like predators, but think like prey. Always adapting, always surviving. Veltar's multifaceted eyes tracked the human movements. Not prey, old friend. Survivors. Their world tried to kill them every day for millions of years. They learned to kill it back. A Void Reaper dreadnought, larger than the others, emerged from behind a moon. Its weapons powered up with ominous intent. Captain, massive energy buildup from the dreadnought. Commander Park warned. Morrison didn't hesitate. All ships, concentrate fire on that dreadnought. Maximum yield. The human fleet responded as one. Missiles, plasma bolts, and kinetic rounds converged on the enemy flagship. But the Void Reapers had tricks of their own. A shield bubble expanded from the dreadnought, deflecting most of the incoming fire. Sir, our weapons aren't penetrating, Torres reported. Morrison's mind raced. In the asteroid belt conflicts, he'd learned that when conventional tactics failed, unconventional thinking won battles. Helm, set collision course with the dreadnought, Morrison ordered calmly. Sir? The helmsman's voice cracked. You heard me. All hands, prepare for ramming speed. The bridge fell silent except for the hum of systems. Then training kicked in. The crew began preparations with grim determination. The Resolute's engines roared to full power, driving the massive battleship forward. The Void Reapers, for the first time, hesitated. Their formation wavered. Captain, Veltar's voice came through the comm. Your sacrifice honors us, but there is another way. Our ships have quantum field modulators. If we link them with your weapon systems, do it, Morrison ordered without hesitation. Ashcore technical crews worked frantically with human engineers. Veltar himself interfaced directly with the Resolute's computers, his four arms dancing over controls while his mind melded with the ship's systems. Connection established. Dr. Rodriguez announced. Weapon systems enhanced. The Resolute fired again. This time, the plasma bolts sparkled with an otherworldly energy. They punched through the Void Reaper shields like they weren't there. The dreadnought reeled under the assault, its organic armor cracking and burning. The other Void Reaper ships pulled back, their formation disintegrating. They're retreating, Park exclaimed. But Morrison had learned never to trust an enemy withdrawal. Stay alert. This feels too easy. His instincts proved correct. The Void Reaper dreadnought began to pulse with sickly green light, energy readings off the scale. Torres warned. It's going to. The dreadnought exploded, but not in destruction. Instead, it released a wave of energy that washed over the human ships. Systems flickered and died. The Resolute drifted powerless. EMP variant, Park reported. Main power is down, backups failing. Through the viewports, Morrison watched the Void Reaper ships regroup. They moved in for the kill, weapons charging. This is how they win, Veltar said quietly. They adapt too. They learn their enemy's strength, then negate it. Morrison stood, facing his crew. Ideas, people. We're humans. We don't give up. In the engineering section, Chief Engineer David Kumar stared at the dead systems. His team looked to him for miracles he didn't have. Then inspiration struck. The Ashcore tech. It's bioorganic, right? Not affected by EMP. Correct, responded an Ashcore engineer named Rindle. Then we integrate. We graft their systems onto ours. Bypass the fried circuits entirely. It was insane. It was desperate. It was human. Do it, Kumar ordered. Across the human fleet, engineers performed the impossible. They merged two completely different technologies, forcing compatibility where none should exist. Sparks flew, systems protested, but slowly power returned. The Void Reapers had closed to point-blank range when the Resolute's weapons came back online. Surprise, Morrison growled. All ships, fire everything. The battle resumed with newfound fury. Human aggression powered by Ashcore technology proved unstoppable. The enhanced weapons carved through Void Reaper ships like butter. But the enemy commander wasn't finished. The remaining Void Reaper vessels linked together, forming a massive construct. Energy built between them, creating a weapon of terrifying power. They're combining their ships. Dr. Rodriguez gasped. The energy output, it could crack a moon. Morrison studied the forming weapon. A direct assault would be suicide. They needed another approach. Veltar, in your culture, what's the greatest fear? The Ashcore commander's skin shifted to a pale blue. To be alone. To be cut off from the collective consciousness. Morrison smiled grimly. Park, remember the communication virus we developed for the asteroid pirates? Park's eyes widened with understanding. The one that creates feedback loops in networked systems. Modify it. All our electronic warfare specialists work with the Ashcore. I want that virus adapted for their linked systems. The Mercy's medical computers, ironically, proved perfect for the task. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the chief medical officer, worked alongside Ashcore bioprogrammers to craft a digital plague tailored for the Void Reaper network. Virus ready, Tanaka reported, but we need to get it close. Their firewalls are too strong for remote transmission. Lieutenant Michael O'Brien, pilot of the fighter squadron, spoke up. My birds can get in close. Give us the package. Morrison nodded. All fighters, prepare for assault run. Everyone else, give them cover. The human fighters, tiny compared to the capital ships, screamed toward the Void Reaper construct. The enemy, focused on charging their super weapon, detected the threat too late. O'Brien's fighter jinked through defensive fire, his fellow pilots falling around him. But humans had learned to accept losses for the greater good. Each fallen fighter bought seconds for the others. Range achieved, O'Brien announced. Firing. The missile, carrying its viral payload, struck the construct's central node. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the Void Reaper formation convulsed. Ships tried to disconnect, but found their systems locked. The virus spread through their network like wildfire, turning their greatest strength into fatal weakness. The construct began to tear itself apart. Void Reaper ships collided, their navigation systems scrambled. The superweapon's energy turned inward, consuming the very ships that created it. In minutes, the seemingly invincible Void Reaper fleet was reduced to drifting hulks. As the last enemy ship went dark, a cheer erupted across the human fleet, but Morrison raised his hand for silence. This was just a scout force, he said soberly. There will be more. Veltar approached Morrison on the bridge, his skin showing patterns of deep respect. You have given us hope, Captain, but you speak truth. The Void Reapers are an empire. They will return with hundreds of ships. Morrison looked at the Allied crew, human, and Ashcore working side by side. Then we'll be ready. Together. The Galactic Council must know of this, Veltar continued. For millennia, they have cowered before the Void Reapers. But you Deathworlders, you fight differently. You could lead us. We don't seek to lead, Morrison replied. But we'll stand with anyone who needs help. That's what humans do. In the following days, as the fleet repaired and tended to wounded, something remarkable happened. The Ashcore shared their technology freely. Advances in medicine, energy production, and space travel. The humans shared their adaptability, their refusal to accept defeat, their warrior spirit tempered by compassion. Messages flew between Earth and the fleet. The United Earth government, faced with evidence of a hostile galaxy, made a historic decision. Humanity would join the Galactic Council, not as conquerors, but as protectors. The first human Ashcore hybrid ships rolled out of the shipyards within months. Ashcore grace combined with human stubbornness. Weapons that merged quantum manipulation with kinetic force. Shields that adapted in real time to new threats. Other species, long terrorized by the Void Reavers, began to reach out. The Quellax, master strategists. The Zenthran, expert engineers. The mysterious Voidwalkers, who could navigate hyperspace by thought alone. Gradually, an alliance formed. At its heart stood humanity and the Ashcore, bound by that first desperate call for help and the answer that came from the stars. When the Void Reaper main fleet arrived a year later, they found not scattered, fearful worlds, but a united front. The Deathworlders had shared their greatest gift, not their strength or their technology, but their spirit. The Second Battle of Ashcore, as it came to be known, lasted 3 days. When it ended, the Void Reaper Empire was broken forever. But that's a story for another time. Admiral Morrison, promoted after the first battle, stood on the observation deck of Unity Station, the Noob Alliance headquarters. Veltar, now ambassador, stood beside him. "Your people changed everything," Veltar said, his skin showing contentment. "You answered a call for help from strangers." Morrison smiled. "That's what makes us human. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us, so we learned to help each other survive. Now we just have a bigger neighborhood." Outside the viewport, ships from a dozen species worked together, building a future free from fear. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as protectors, friends, and above all, helpers to those in need. The Deathworlders had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same.